America, we are back today. We have a special episode. This is a very sad episode. Most of you know what happened already. Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, 2025, and we're going to speak about it today. We're going to speak about his life, his legacy. We're going to speak about what the future of America looks like after this, what the future of conservative politics looks like. We're going to talk about the rise in political violence. And we will talk about how this country should move forward together, how we need to end the political violence and all the destruction that's happening right now. I first want to start by talking about Charlie Kirk's legacy. Charlie Kirk was born on October 14th, 1993, passed away on September 10th, 2025. He was assassinated. Charlie Kirk started many companies, and he influenced the youth in a way that no one had ever done in America before, including myself. When I first started getting into politics, it was because of Charlie Kirk's inspiration. Charlie Kirk inspired me to be more political, seeing his TikTok, seeing his Reels, seeing his YouTube videos of him debating, whether it was against people on college campuses. When he went to Oxford and took on the entire Oxford debate team, Charlie Kirk never feared any person when it came to the challenge of debate and sharing ideas. He encouraged us to share ideas. Charlie Kirk is what encouraged a lot of young Americans to speak their minds in a time where they felt like they didn't have a voice. When I felt like I didn't have a voice, when I felt like if I spoke my mind about politics, I would immediately be shut down or criticized, Charlie Kirk spoke up for people like me. Charlie Kirk gave us a reason to push forward. He let us know that being silenced was the way to destroy ourselves, and being silenced was the way to bring more violence to this country. That we need to continue to have a dialogue, whether we agree or disagree with people, and that pushing that dialogue forward, pushing our message forward, and continuing to share our thoughts and ideas with individuals who agree and disagree is the way that a country will prosper. If we stop sharing these ideas, if we stop talking about them, we will end up with more destruction, we will end up with more deaths, we will end up with more violence in this country. Charlie Kirk's passing is, it's so hard on all of us. It's really hard on me. These last few days have been very sad. I've barely slept. I have barely spoken. I am still in shock. It doesn't feel real, and I don't know if it will for a long time. I have watched every one of Charlie Kirk's videos. I was a big listener of his podcast. I watched all his campus debates. I have watched him every day almost since 2018 or so, maybe 2019. It hurts. It feels like we all knew him, even if we never met him. It feels like we knew him. He was on our TVs and our phones every day. He was speaking to people and repeating points that we believed in, and even on things I disagreed with him about. Over the last few months, I've definitely given him a ton of shit on his position on Israel versus mine, and I've given him a lot of criticism. But Charlie Kirk encouraged us all to disagree. He encouraged us all to keep disagreeing with each other and speaking our minds and doing it civilly. That's why he would sit in front of these college campuses and debate people for hours on end. Charlie Kirk, your legacy will never be forgotten, and millions more Charlie Kirks were born on September 10th, 2025. That radicalized millions of us. Nobody should have any calls to violence. Nobody should have any retaliation, anything like that. It is important that we act within the will of God. It is important that we act within how Charlie Kirk would have wanted us to respond. He would not have wanted us to respond with violence. He would have wanted us to use our voices, use our right to free speech. He would have wanted us to debate people. He would have wanted us to continue to speak our minds, challenge people, maybe even get some of the people fired who are celebrating it and things like that. But he would not want us to use violence. And again, I understand how you guys are probably feeling as well. I'm feeling the same way. Like I'm saying, violence is not the answer and it should never be the answer. But like many of you, I feel the same urges, the same hatred and the same disgust and anger and sadness. And I have that same feeling of I've never been more ready in my life to pick up a gun and fight for America, for this country, for free speech, for people like Charlie Kirk who gave their lives for free speech. But that's not the answer. The answer right now is to continue to use our voices and to finish what Charlie Kirk started. Charlie Kirk started a movement that I couldn't do in 1,000 lifetimes. Charlie Kirk started a movement that captured the hearts and minds of young conservatives and young individuals everywhere. People loved him and people hated him for his ideas, but he never shied away or backed down from sharing them. He encouraged more people to be open about their conservative politics, and he even made it cool to be conservative again. There was a time where it became a very bad thing to be conservative socially, and if you weren't liberal, you weren't cool, and Charlie Kirk changed that. Charlie Kirk made it so we had that voice, so people like me could do my show, and even though me and him wouldn't agree on everything, he would still want me to voice my opinions every day. He would still encourage me to. He would encourage all Americans to, because that's who he was. Charlie Kirk is leaving behind a 3 and a 1-year-old, a son and a daughter, a loving wife. He was a devout evangelical Christian, and his wife was a devout Catholic. They attended daily masses. This is really sad and really hard. I never thought I would be making an episode like this or talking about this. I might have disagreed with the guy on a lot, but Charlie Kirk was a hero, and Charlie Kirk was the face and voice of mainstream conservative politics. He was the epitome of, like, if your neighbor was Charlie Kirk, if all your neighbors were Charlie Kirk, you'd live in the best place ever. He was such a great person, such a great man, inspiring man, kind man, a man of God. He put God over everything and his family right after that. This is just heartbreaking. I'm so sad that we have this rise in political violence in our country. It is detrimental to the society. We have people on both sides of the aisle who do it, but it predominantly comes from the left. It is overwhelmingly coming from the left, actually. When Luigi Mangione shot the CEO of that healthcare company in the back of the head, people celebrated over it, and as we saw the most graphic assassination we'll probably ever see in our lifetime from a political figure, or I pray we ever see in our lifetime of a political figure, people celebrated it. Literally, someone stood up and cheered the second it happened in the crowd. That's demonic. That's evil. It is the evil that resides around us that we need to root out. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're conservative or what you are. We're all Americans. There's good and there's evil, and it doesn't matter whether we're left or right. It matters whether you're good or you're evil, and we need to root out the evil from our society because it is around us. The satanic influence is everywhere around us, and we can see it rising. We can see it in our media. We could see it in our social media. We could see the propaganda everywhere. And we could see it with the rise in political violence. We just had that woman stabbed on the train. We had Luigi Mangione shoot that guy in the back of the head. Someone took a shot at Trump. A Democratic politician was killed just a couple months ago, and now this. Now, Charlie Kirk, the largest voice in mainstream conservative politics, the largest voice in youth politics, someone who captured the entire youth by their hearts and minds, was struck down in front of thousands of individuals, and it took the FBI days to be able to arrest this individual finally this morning. This is a really hard episode for me to make, so I'm sorry, everyone. Please bear with me in these just pause moments and just gathering and collecting my thoughts. I'm not writing a script, or I didn't write a script or anything for this. It's just me speaking about how I feel about Charlie and the political violence and where I feel this country needs to head. Charlie, we will never forget your legacy, and we will honor it. We will finish what you started. I don't know what will happen with Turning Point USA. I don't know who will fill your shoes, or I don't think anyone even could. Like I said, in 1,000 lifetimes, I could never accomplish what Charlie Kirk accomplished, and that's not just me, that's most people. Any big name you see in conservative politics could not have done what Charlie Kirk did, or else they would have done it themselves. What Charlie Kirk did was immensely selfless. Charlie Kirk was warned multiple times that people would attempt to take his life. Charlie Kirk had to spend millions of dollars on security. Charlie Kirk had to do what he could to protect himself at all times, and demonic influence was still able to interfere. He was taken way too young. He was 31 years old. 31. A father of 2 and a husband. Again, a better man than you, me, or any of us will be. We should all aspire to be more like Charlie Kirk every day. We should all aspire to speak our minds truly. We should all aspire to push back on narratives and not accept things as they are. We should all aspire to be better Christians and be better to our families, be more involved with our families, and devote our lives to God and our families and our country the way Charlie did. Not just some days, every day. Charlie was a stoic individual who, on the days he didn't want to wake up, you wouldn't even notice because he got up and did it anyway. You wouldn't notice Charlie's bad days from his good days because he was so stoic and he was so dedicated to his craft and dedicated to helping this country that you would never even notice. Again, we should all do what we can to be more like Charlie Kirk every day. If everyone acted a little bit more like him, the world would be a way better place. People who are justifying this, saying any argument that Charlie Kirk has said in the past justifies this, they're saying that Charlie Kirk would speak, he was anti-abortion. Charlie Kirk didn't want people to get murdered, so you murdered him? It's fucked up. They say that because Charlie Kirk spoke about black crime that he deserved this. Because Charlie Kirk wanted to live in a safer nation for his wife and children, he deserved this. It's just super fucked up. There's been a lot of speculation over the last few days over who the shooter was, the motives, what had happened. That's the reason I didn't do a show for the last couple days, beyond just needing a day or two to really put my thoughts together and think about all this. This is a very, very hard thing. But I don't think it's positive to engage in the conspiracy talk either, following tragic events like this. There was speculation whether it was Israel, there was speculation whether it was transgender, there was speculation whether it was someone who had been radicalized. And we find out this morning the individual's name, that they're arrested, and it was a radicalized individual. But all the people engaged in conspiracies, I just don't think it's positive. I think right now the family is in mourning. Erica Kirk and their children are right now probably in the saddest times of their entire lives that they will ever have to deal with. And they don't need to be reading all that on social media. Not that they're actively looking, but just in case, it's like we don't need to be flooding social media with conspiracy theories when we don't know the answer. It's better to just wait for answers. That's why another reason why I waited a couple days. It's just I wanted more clarity on the situation, and waiting till today was able to provide me with the clarity of who the person was who actually committed the act. So that way I could more accurately report on it. Because if I came and did this on the day he got shot, it would have been me just. Again, I've never been more mad. And I think a lot of people understand that feeling. A lot of young conservatives out there understand the exact feeling I have right now. I've never been more pissed off in my life. I'm sad, I'm pissed off, I'm hurt, I feel lost a little bit. A mentor and a role model to us all was taken too early. Way too early, at 31 years old. Not only that, I mean, we all found out, someone texted us, we opened social media, whatever it was. For me, it was my cousin called me and said, "Did you see Charlie Kirk got shot?" And immediately I was like, no fucking way. No way. Maybe someone just walked up to the mic and shot him in the shoulder. Maybe it hit his bulletproof vest. I know he wears one. And then I open X, and about 80 to 90 times in a row, I see the video. It's the only thing on my For You page and in my following. Everyone was posting the video. And I was very in between on that. A huge part of me thinks that video should not be on social media because, again, the family does not need to be seeing that. There are rumors that Charlie Kirk's daughter ran to Charlie Kirk after he was shot because she was scared of the sound. They don't need to be seeing that. But there's another part of me that thinks that that image in that video should be burned in every American's mind, especially every young American's, for a few reasons. For the political violence, that we need to show that it needs to end. And so you have that feeling. Again, I don't want people to be sad and pissed off, but after something like this, we all should be. We should be furious. We should want answers, and not revenge, but we should want answers, and we should want clarity. We should want dialogue. Again, we should, in times like this, listen to people like Charlie Kirk. Go back and listen to some of his old videos and wisdom and advice where it's just, in times like this, we need to continue to talk. We need to not resort to violence. We need to be stoic. We need to be clear with our intentions. Our intentions need to be extremely clear. Because again, we could go down the rabbit hole of they killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, let's pick up our guns. Let's go kill this person and this person. But what is that going to solve? What is that going to fix? It's only going to cause more death, more destruction. It's not going to help anybody. It's only going to hurt this nation. The left is more willing to go do acts like this, but the right is more capable of finishing any conflict. The left doesn't want to start a long-term conflict with the right. And I don't want to have a conflict with anyone in my nation. I want to live as Americans. The left has to stop pushing us like this. They have to stop pushing us down this path where they're taking shots at Trump and celebrating it, and killing Charlie Kirk and celebrating it, and they're celebrating Luigi Mangione selling fucking Luigi t-shirts and shirts with Charlie Kirk dying on it. It's so heartbreaking. I'm trying to, as I'm filming this, I'm trying to not get over emotional. I'm trying to just keep a calm tone the entire time. Because I could start yelling, I could start screaming, I could start getting mad into the camera, I could start bawling my fucking eyes out. I could go any way here. I mean, like I said, I'm feeling a range of emotions, as are most Americans. We're all pissed off. We're all upset. We're all sad. We're all feeling like we need guidance. Nick Fuentes gave a amazing monologue last night about it. I reposted it on my YouTube channel for you guys to check out. It's going to be way better put together than this one for sure, but it's important that I put this one out as well because, like I said, Charlie was an important person to me. I've watched him every day since I started being political, and when I started my show, he was who inspired me to start it. You know, I wanted to model my show after things he was accomplishing and after the model he set for conservative politics of you can speak your mind. Even if people aren't going to agree, you do have the ability to speak your mind, and you don't have to be ostracized for it. It's really easy to be angry. It's really easy to want to, like I said, go pick up a gun and fight. But it's a test to forgive. And it's a test we need to pass. Again, we need to act in the will of God, everybody. I know I'm all over the place in this, but again, it's really hard to think about all this and to speak about all this. I practiced what I was going to say over and over again. I didn't write anything down, but as I sat in front of the camera and pressed record, it just feels so different. It's not me sitting in front of a mirror practicing. It's me actually talking about someone who I would say was a hero to me in a lot of ways, you know, being assassinated, being taken from us all too early by pure demonic evil. The evil that we need to root out of this world. I want to talk about who the individual was. I'm not going to talk too long about it because the FBI hasn't released a ton of information, and I'm sure they will release more. But Tyler Robinson was the killer. He was 22. It seemed like he did possibly have mental and social problems. A very deranged person. There are rumors that this individual could have been schizophrenic, but I'm not going to say that for sure because I want to get this reporting accurate. But I hope you get the death penalty, Tyler Robertson. One day you will meet your maker and creator, and you will have to answer for this. Because I know God loved Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk devoted his life to Christ. And while I may not have agreed with him on everything, I agree with him on that. He was a more devout Christian than most people, and I could never compare to the amount of knowledge he had, the way he's able to just quote biblical verses, and the way he is able to use it in debates, and the way he is able to reference it in his everyday life and act accordingly. He was a better man than a lot of us, and like I said, if all our neighbors were Charlie Kirk, we would live in a lot better place. My closing thoughts and remarks to all this are, again, I want to encourage everybody who is thinking about acting violently, who is thinking about retaliation and revenge. Please put down your weapons, put down anything. Pray, go hug your family, touch grass, take a nap, drink some water. Charlie Kirk wouldn't want that. Charlie Kirk would want us to act accordingly to how God would want us to act. Charlie Kirk would want us to use our voices, not our guns. Charlie Kirk would want us to, again, just act in the will of God, and that's what I'm encouraging everyone to do today. Charlie Kirk, a loving father and husband, was taken all too early from us at 31 years old. But we will never forget him. The young Americans who were gathered around Charlie Kirk at a student action summit at his Turning Point USA events, the young Americans who followed him on social media. We will finish what you started. We will pick it up where you left off, and we will finish what you started, Charlie Kirk. He will speak out against the radical, woke indoctrination of our children. We will speak out against the violence that happens and the political violence that's starting to rise. We will finish what you started, Charlie Kirk. I promise you that. That is my promise to you. Beyond the graves. I'm heartbroken. I'm distraught. I'm angry. I'm sad. I have probably the widest range of emotions I think I've ever felt in my life. This is one of the saddest moments in my life. This is one of the saddest moments that I've been alive for in American history. I don't think America will ever be the same, or I will ever be the same. But please, everybody, don't act violently, but don't back down either. Never back down, never take a backward step. Always be ready to defend yourself in your life, but never be the aggressor. Charlie Kirk would want us to push forward and move forward, and Charlie Kirk would want us to keep speaking, keep debating, keep engaging in political discourse and engaging in politics. He would want us to convert more people to being Christians. He would want us to bring more peace throughout the world. Charlie Kirk, I pray for you today, and I will pray for you and your family every day. This is heartbreaking. I really can't believe I'm filming this right now. This is the most real it's felt, is talking about it like this. Like I said, I haven't slept. I've barely talked to anybody for the last few days. I'm sorry I'm taking all these pauses. I'm just trying to gather my emotions and thoughts. I'm going to sign off. I don't know what else to say right now. I'm overwhelmed with emotions right now. I'm overwhelmed with, like I said, just feelings of anger, sadness, every emotion. I think we all need to do what we can to try and be better people. We need to do what we can to communicate better. We need to do what we can to make this country safer, because right now there is a rising trend of violence that is very scary. I want to pray for everyone's safety. I want to pray for Charlie Kirk. I want to pray for Charlie Kirk's family and children. I want to pray for all Americans, politicians or not. I want to pray for their safety. And please, I encourage everyone to do that too. I also want to encourage all my listeners, go get your first communion, get baptized, get confirmed, do a confession. If you already have some of those things, go do another confession and go to Mass this Sunday. Life can end at any moment, and that was shown to us this week. Life is precious, and it can end at any second, unexpectedly. Go to confession, be right with God, be right in your own mind, do what's right for America, and do what Charlie Kirk would do. I'm going to sign off today. I hope you guys do have a blessed day, a blessed weekend. I will see you guys Monday. Thank you.